Have y'all been able to feel the building of the Christmas energy?
Mm-hmm.
Can you feel that?
Yes.
And I tell you this just about every Sunday in December. When we have a group of people, we are very powerful beings as humans. And when a group of humans look at something at the same time, it draws such energy to it. And Christmas is the time when the humans look to God. Whether they're Christians or just looking for love, they look to God and they feel that love, and it begins to grow and grow and grow. And then the Christian population, we just celebrate the birth of Jesus Christ, and that just peaks it. So between now and December, you'll feel more and more of the beautiful Christmas activity. Yes, you will. Okay. So last week we talked about crossing the earth, and this week we're going to talk about crossing the human nature. I want to do a little lighter version of Christmas perhaps today. Maybe. Recently, in talking with some folks, I was drawn back out into other theologies, other Christian theologies, but theologies that had been created and were being given form. And as I cruised this information stream, I was reminded again how mankind by nature wants to define God. And these beautiful religions start with, let's love God now. God is blah, 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 and we have to do it this way, and all these rules started flowing down, even from the metaphysical community, which really surprised me. And I was reminded how Jesus Christ never told us to seek to define God of the universe, ever. He said, seek to find God within your heart. God inside us. God inside us, not a God. How could we define a God? We don't even know the universe. We don't even know our own earth. How could we define creator of it all? But not to try to define God, but try to find God. And he did say this of God. God is Father and Mother. God is Spirit. God is love. God is Parent. God is within. And that's what he said about God. And then he said, go within. Go within, go within. So, he did not teach an outer connection with God. He taught an inner connection with God. And he said, there's going to come a time when people will say, oh, the Christ is here or the Christ is there. Don't go. Because it's in your heart. And there are holy spaces, aren't there? There are holy spaces where you can go and you can feel the energy of God. But what made it a holy space? A human had an experience of God in that space. And then more humans had experiences of God in that space. And then the energy, the residue of that experiencing God within is collected in the outer. You can many people walk into this church and they go, oh, I feel God here. But when we bought this building, when we bought this property, it was lovely property. But it didn't have this condensed and beautiful feeling of God until all of you started gathering and coming every Sunday and celebrating. And our internal experience of God is now on the property and easily accessed by someone who enters. But it was because we opened up. Do you see? So it's so important for us, especially as metaphysical Christians approaching Christmas, that we remember to feel, that we remember God within. God within. Crossing the human nature. In our seminary, one of our test questions with our students is, how do you become the Christ? And the answer is, for those future students, when love becomes the strongest power in every chakra. When every aspect of your life is filled with the energy of love. Then you walk as that being of heaven on earth. Do you all already know all of this?
It's nice to remember.
Yes. You know, they were talking to me last night when I was sleeping, and I felt the presence of God. You know, there's angels, there's guys, there's teachers, Jesus Christ. But I felt this presence of Creator, and it was very simple. Mankind must eliminate fear. We must eliminate the fear within us. And they said, for me to understand, we have fear, probably one of our greatest fears. It's not public speaking, people. That's a falsehood. Your greatest fear is making a mistake. Your greatest fear is being wrong. It's losing power. Your greatest fear is losing power. You have a fear of not being loved. And here's another really big fear that you have. Not being adequate. Adequate. Everybody just shut your eyes for a moment and say, I am adequate.
I am adequate.
How does that feel?
Mediocre.
Now keep your eyes shut. Now say, I am valuable.
I am valuable.
And fabulous.
I am valuable. Do you see the difference? Yet how many times in situations, you can open your eyes, how many times in situations do you measure yourself as I am not adequate for that situation? I, child of God, fabulous, light being, love-filled, absolutely wonderful. I'm not adequate for that situation. And yet you do it. And yet you do it. Eliminate the fear and walk in love. That was the message they wanted us to work on today. So, last night when we did our healing night, we had a beautiful healing night, and there was some chatter going on about Christmas, and someone said, what's happening with the planet, Cindy? People are having a different Christmas this year. A lot of people haven't bought their trees yet. A lot of people have bought their trees, and it's sitting in their living room with no decorations on them. It's like we're trying to get there, but we're not there yet. We're not amping up. We're not lighting our trees. We're trying to go through what we know to do to get that Christmas spirit going. But we need to light. And so what they wanted us to do this morning is to light our tree from within. So, how do you Christ?
Love is the greatest power in all of your chakras.
Those are the seminary students speaking. When love is the greatest power in all of your chakras, so we'll go through a little journey. You don't keep your eyes open. We're not doing our meditation yet. Okay. And just for those of you, most of you know about your chakras. They're just openings of energy through which we express. So in our root chakra, which is at the base of the spine, and it's beautiful red, this is our presence. It's how we see ourselves out in the world. And at Christmas time, we see ourselves, oh, so busy. Oh, so busy with not enough energy to do what we need to do. And our little root chakras, instead of filled with brilliant light, shining out into the world and feeling that they're filled with love, go, you're asking too much of me. Do not drag me to one more party. I cannot do this anymore. Right? So, here's an idea for your beautiful red chakra. Ready? I have all the energy I need to be an ambassador of love. How's that sound? Just say that.
I have all the energy I need to be an ambassador of love.
Now just imagine the red beginning to light up. Can you feel? All right. Then we have our beautiful spleen chakra, which is to the left of the navel, and it's orange. And our spleen governs our passion. And our spleen loves fun. And it will drag that physical body of yours all over creation. It loves to eat cookies. And it loves to eat candy. And it loves all the Christmas feasting. And the spleen loves, more than anything else, to bust your budget. When you are shopping and you see something and you go, ooh, that would be so cool for me. Or, ooh, that would be so cool for someone else, but it's out of my budget. Oh, but it's okay, because my joy is being activated as I buy it. Do you see that when you work in one area only, you can get out of balance? Did anybody meet their spleen chakra this year yet?
Yeah.